So,
yeah, but we were an insular market at that time.
Right.
And now it's a worldwide market. And not only the industrial and the EVs and the solar panels, but retail now. China's been encouraging its citizens to invest in silver now for a few years. Now you have Indian retail stepping in, and you have pension and investment funds in India now recommending silver allocation. So it's a worldwide market. They're not going to control it in New York, London, or Chicago. It's going to be controlled out of Shanghai and eastern cities.
Right. I wanted to cover a couple of things. I know you talked about this in your video you put out today, but you purchased a 10-ounce bar from, who was I had never heard of
Bullion Express.
Okay. So tell me what's going on with that, your frustration, and what we can glean from that, and what could the future look like with this stuff.
Yeah, unlike you, I'm going to continue to stack. So that's a little bit of disagreement between us. I'm gonna keep going on the pullbacks. And no, they had a first-time buyer deal. I'd never done business with them before, but it was 10 ounces at spot. So figured I'd pick it up and see what they're all about. And what they're all about is not returning phone calls and emails. I want my damn silver, and nobody will call me back. I can't get an email. The secretary over there is very nice. Her voice is kind of a mixture of Rachel Maddow and Rosie O'Donnell. She is just a real people pleaser, but I don't know where my silver is. Says the order is on hold, and I've seen other posts on X that some bullion dealers, disreputable, are defaulting on orders. They're just saying, we don't have an order canceled. What kind of way to do business is that? That is why you want to stick with SD, Texas Precious Metals, etc., the vetted dealers.
Right. So, yeah, I wanted you to talk about that because I hadn't personally seen that, but that's the first time I had heard about it. But apparently, I know with SD Bullion, I saw an interview with Chase and I think it was Cole, but they were saying if you place the order, if they have it saying that you can purchase it, you're going to get your metal. So it may take them 6 weeks to get that metal out or whatever, but you will get it. They're not going to sell something and say, oops, we don't have that. Sorry, you don't get your metal. But so if they say it's in stock, and I think they may even sell some stock that they know is coming in, but just know that it's going to get crazy.
It's nearing unobtainium, right. And the one feather in the cap is there's been a glut of junk silver. And so what a lot of the bullion dealers are doing is sending it to the mint, and then they're getting the preferred coins pressed. And so when that glut is sucked up and then they sell the last of those coins, it's going to be dog eat dog at that point. You're not going to be able to buy it, especially when this thing is in triple digits and all the junk is sucked up.
Right. The best silver out there, in my opinion, to buy is the junk silver. Right now, SD Bullion, and I do have Jeremiah Babe's link down in my description if you want to use that to buy silver. But they still have a deal for junk silver at spot. Also, Texas Precious Metals. It's texmetals.com and use the promo code TXSilver. And you get $20 off your order. Both are great companies. JM Bullion's a great company. I've dealt with them. There's a lot more out there. So just make sure it's reputable. But just be careful who you buy from. And these metals I think are going to get scarce. And I think this time truly is different because before, in the 80s, it was the Hunt Brothers, which was a localized thing. Mm-hmm. And then 07, 08, that was...
there's a situation when the U.S. government is pairing with Korea Zinc to build a new smelting facility in Clarksville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
It's not only silver, it's rare earth materials, it's base metals, it's these commodities that make modern life function and industrial build-out function. There's a scarcity. American politicians are finally waking up. They took a half a second break from stealing and laundering money, and they're like, we have to do something here. We're way behind the eight ball in this country. China's been thinking about this for years and years. That's why they've been doing the backdoor deals in Peru and Mexico, Argentina, etc. And now you see the resource war shifting south. Venezuela is a good example of that, but it's, China has built so much infrastructure down there. You've got the Chansi megaport in Lima, Peru. You have railroad in Brazil, hydropower in some of these different countries, 5G in Mexico. And now, Trump has invoked the Monroe Doctrine from the 1800s and saying, this is our hemisphere, we want these resources. So this should be interesting to watch.
Yeah, so this time again is different because the big boys are involved. And what's crazy in the United States, for the most part, the general public hasn't even woken up to this.
Sure.
So again, this time is different. I think by the time the U.S. citizens as a whole realize what's going on with silver and all that, it's too late. All the big countries, the wealth funds, the industrial players, everyone has moved their chess pieces on the board. And if you don't have it now, you're not going to get it. And I was watching the interview on Liberty and Finance with Bill Holter, and that's what he was saying is like, if you don't have it now, you're not going to get it. So,
yeah.
And I think he's right on that. I picked his brain and I also talked about this on my last video, but also there was Miles Franklin, Andy Schechtman was talking about that eagles are becoming harder to source as well. So that's what happens. Eagles go first, junk silver.
Well, you can be like my buddy and buy some eagles on eBay
Yeah.
and get them shipped from Turkey and then find out they're full of zinc. He was able to get his money back from the credit card company, but I wouldn't recommend buying eagles from Turkey on eBay.
Well, zinc's going up, right? So.
Yeah, I mean, zinc is exploding, so it might be the move. And also you get a full refund, so you can actually melt them down and then harvest the silver on the outside. And then you have zinc, you have silver, you got all the commodities.
Don't buy from eBay unless you want.
Unless you have a home smelter.
Yeah. And again, obviously, this isn't financial advice. We're not financial advisors. This is just what we're doing. We're thinking out loud. So do your own due diligence on all this stuff. Let's see. I know you covered this in your video, but Jim Cramer. I about fell out of my seat when I read this, but Jim Cramer said on, I think it was a Twitter post or X post rather, he says he's been a gold bug for years.
Yeah.
Even though I've never heard him talk about it. But anyways, so he said gold is on track to surpass U.S. Treasuries as the biggest reserve asset for foreign governments, which you knew that.
Kramer, we got to sell all the golds. I'm out.
Yeah, I was like, should I sell everything? But I mean, it's crazy. But yeah.
Kramer every now and again has a moment of clarity and a moment of truth. And there's a famous video that I put in one of my videos from 2008 where he was talking about his days as a hedge fund manager and running up a stock using $20 or $30 million and then crashing it when retail would pile in, and then he'd harvest profit on both sides. So yeah, he is he's an interesting guy, but now he's on gold. And it's interesting, all the major asset managers like JP Morgan, Fidelity, Vanguard came out with their 2026 prospectus, and a lot of them are recommending gold allocation. So you can't be all wrong all the time.
Right. Well, even a broken clock's right twice a day, right?
Sure.
Yeah. I know you also mentioned this, and I just want to talk about it on my channel. But Bank of America, Michael Weidmer, I guess, he's the head of metals research, the managing director of Bank of America Securities. Anyways, he stated that gold will be a primary hedge and performance driver in 2026. And he predicted silver could top between $135 and $309. That's kind of specific numbers there, but wow, Bank of America.
What are the odds he got called into the head office and got dressed down for that one? They're like, you're endangering $50 billion worth of shorts by saying this.
Yeah, but again, you've got Michael Oliver, you got Francis Hunt, who else? A couple others out there that are calling for $200-300, if not more, dollar silver this year. It's just crazy that Bank of America now is saying this, but I
Oh
don't know.
yeah. Sheckman's projections for gold and silver are astronomical. I listen to Andy Finding Value too. It's a smaller channel. He's great with technical analysis. But yeah, Market Sniper, all of them. Market Sniper, he says we get to 333 and then we're onward to 4 digits on silver. So
Yeah, he called for
let's go.
$1,200, right? I think the video that I watched, was that him? Oh, I watched so many videos all day long. They all just kind of blur together.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was him. So I want to talk about this. And I've brought this buddy up multiple times. Adam and I discussed this while we were driving home on the phone. And I just want to scream, at this guy, but he's just not getting it. But I was talking about silver performance and all that, and he was telling me, he sent me, I guess, a year performance of the Dow, and it showed that it was up 14% for, a year. And I sent him the screenshot of silver is up 170% over the last year. And, he keeps telling me that it's overbought. He's going to wait for a correction. And he said it kind of reminds him of the tortoise and the hare. And I said, dude, this time is different. Tortoise is going to get run over in the highway, and the hare is going to win the race.
It's an idiotic benchmark because he's talking about the Dow, which is kind of obsolete nowadays. Right. People talk about NASDAQ and S&P, but it's indexed to the US dollar, which is continually going down. It's like saying the Russell 2000 is doing great in a ratio to Twinkies. Like, it doesn't even matter anymore because the US dollar is being debased so much.
Right, and that's right.
Silver is indexed to either gold or silver. Silver is in demand, and now you're seeing a lot of people use ratios against gold. Gold is the new monetary benchmark, not the US dollar. We're losing world currency status, world reserve currency status. We're losing the petrodollar. All they do is print more money. And now there's a monster flight from treasuries. The Japan carry trade is unwinding. And we've alienated a lot of countries. What's crazy, a lot of these BRICS countries that we've alienated, they hold a lot of our debt. You've got UAE, China, a lot of the BRICS countries or countries that are applying for membership to the BRICS, which are not now talking about switching to the unit, which is a gold-backed currency. You have China building regional bullion banks where you can immediately have a gold settlement in transactional business. The US dollar, we've alienated too many people, we've confiscated too many assets, and now it's coming back to bite us.
Right, and the problem is, and I forgot who said this, but I've heard it multiple times, but they talk about the country of origin is we are the last ones to realize that we have the dirtiest shirt, in the laundry. So yeah. Everyone else knows the dollar is on borrowed time. It's being printed worthless. Everyone's de-dollarizing, dumping treasuries, dumping the dollar, and the American public are going to be the last ones holding the bag when all this printed money comes back. And there's probably trillions of dollars that have been printed that we're not even aware of. Didn't Elon find like 14 printers or something that were just paying bills? There was no accountability for any of this. So who knows how many dollars have actually been printed out there? And
yeah, and I'm a little skeptical of Elon, but talking about this the Somali daycare centers and the corruption and fraud going on in Minnesota. And he said, take that, multiply it by 100,000, and that's what you have in California and New York. It's rampant. It's trillions of dollars over the years that they've stolen from taxpayers and us as American citizens. I mean, what are you, a fifth or sixth generation American? We should be living like kings. This is the greatest empire ever known to humankind. And instead, your currency is completely debased. People are losing their jobs. The underlying economy is garbage. You have nobody but politicians to blame and the central banks. And the head central bank the Federal Reserve, which is controlled by the Bank of International Settlements in Basel, Switzerland. We don't even have a central bank that has loyalty to America. They answer to Basel, Switzerland. It's incredible, this situation.
Yeah, for sure. And just to, I guess, go off of what you were talking about and you talked about in your video as well. But once the Americans wake up to this and they have lost everything, these people are going to lose it. So, there's clowns out there on a couple of YouTube channels that I've seen, and they think this is just going to be, the dollar's going to collapse, my metals are going to go up, I'm just going to go buy up all this real estate when it collapses. And I hope you survive what's coming to be able to do all that. Yes, I think there is going to be a point where generational wealth and all that's going to be created, but you have to be able to survive for that. So lead and copper are up quite a bit right now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so that right there, those are components that are in your freedom seeds. So that stuff's going to keep going up too. So you don't forget about that. Those are the most precious metals, in my opinion. Those precious metals guard your gold and silver.
Yeah.
But
no, we'll be hunting tonight with copper rounds, and that's in your brass case, which is an alloy. But yeah, base metals, precious metals, all commodities.
Yeah, so I didn't start stacking until 2016. I know I've talked about that many times on this channel, but I actually started preparing in 2008, and I stacked a lot of lead and copper. I kind of wish I had known about gold and silver a little bit sooner, but I'm not upset with my lead and copper stack. But yeah, those are also important.
That's probably more of a currency now than US dollars. And
yeah.
It's only going to appreciate as well. I mean, you remember what happened during 2020. 9mm rounds were $2 a round plus.
Right. Yeah. Oh no. And Bill's talked about this. He said there could be a point where ammo is more valuable than gold and silver. So it's about playing, I guess, whatever's going on. So, I've talked about this, I know, a bunch on the channel too. My end game is not to die with a casket full of silver. Yeah. I'm holding on to silver because I think it's the most undervalued asset, period, in the world. And I'm going to hold on to that till I feel it's either overvalued or possibly fair valued. But I'm going to roll quite a bit of it into an asset that is undervalued, probably a nice lake house, something like that. But also it's something I can enjoy. The silver for me, it's preservation of wealth. Hopefully it'll be an investment. I don't hold it as an investment, but I think it'll turn into that. But I don't get any joy from the silver. I mean, yeah, it's cool. It makes me sleep better at night knowing that I have it, that blanket of protection. But I can't.
I don't know, those commander rounds, those are pretty sweet.
Yeah, but the point is, like, I can't go play with my silver. I mean, I guess I could go dump it all on the ground and do silver angels in it. But, eventually I want to be able to get, if you want to get a nice car or a nice house or whatever, I want the lake house so my family and I can enjoy that, and it's something that can be passed down through generations. My family can go, have family gatherings there, whatever. But that's kind of my end goal for mine. So,
yeah, I want the acreage. I want the woods, and I am an animal lover, like JB. They
taste good.
Yeah, they taste fantastic. That's the paradox. I love to kill them and eat them, but I love the animals. I've got the dogs. We have the chickens, and I want all the livestock. I want my own land to hunt on constantly. I want to be like Ted Nugent and hunt every single day of my life. That is my goal.
My buddy's from New York. That's all that. Man, they come down, they hog hunt a week straight, and I'm worn out. And those guys, like, I go just for the fellowship and hanging out, but I don't care if I kill one or not. But yeah, and it's been fun because I've learned a lot from using the different night vision and all that stuff. But you had some of that you wanted to ask me about, right? Or you said something about preparedness.
I loved Aaron's presentation on the 5 items that you need for prepping. I think it was last week, and he was like the Tasmanian devil, like pulling this out, this pew, this medical pack. It was, go watch that if you haven't seen it. That was excellent. I really didn't have much to add. My only addition was, I mean, way on down the line was, I love merino wool, like as a base layer, socks, all that. So many cold, wet nights and days hunting. That saved my skin. And so I have my merino wool and, my go bag I keep in the truck. And, I've got, all the survival stuff in there, compass, knife, extra rain gear, extra socks, food, all that stuff. So if you have to split in a hurry, like have that stuff. Like even the real left-wingers with purple hair that live up in Pacific Northwest, they have go bags in their vehicles because they get together and talk, and they talk about an impending monster earthquake, or, like when Mount St. Helens erupted, it was like a cataclysmic event. And so that's kind of a tumultuous area up there. So yeah, visiting, and I have some weird friends up there, and they all have go bags in their vehicles. You should too, especially if you live in northern climates. There's a blizzard or something, there's a wreck, a whiteout, and then you have to go march in the snow. You better have boots, you better have good socks and all that survival gear. Even goggles, you can't see in a blizzard. So yeah, that was my only addition.
Yeah, I've never had to live up there. I did some training in the Marines up in Bridgeport, which it was up in the mountains, and I think it got to like -30 up there. So I've done some of the training, but yeah, some of that stuff I probably haven't experienced and didn't even think about the goggle thing. But yeah.
I mean, Texas roads, we get like it drops below 50 and people freak out. There's a 1/16 of an inch of rain. Cars are smashing into each other. I lived in Vermont. I lived 40 miles from the Canadian border, and we'd get a foot of snow, and people were driving their Thunderbirds rear-wheel drive and that stuff. Like, they didn't care, but they knew how to operate in the snow. Just down here, roads get crazy when it freezes. You'd know better than me.
Oh yeah, when we had that snow again, that was something else. I mean, yeah. Well, I shouldn't laugh, but I mean, there were people that literally froze to death in their houses. So yeah, we're not built for that down here.
Yeah.
Well, unless you have anything else, I'm probably gonna cut the video here. I know you want to get out there and get some pigs killed. I got to get to jiu-jitsu. What time is it?
6:30.
Oh, good. All right, I got time. Whew. All right. Yeah, my girlfriend calls it gay tossing. Yeah, I'm going to gay tossing. But anyways, yeah, jiu-jitsu, that's a good thing. Get out there, get some training. Learn how to use these pew-pews if you're allowed to have one. Learn hand-to-hand combat. And you used to do jiu-jitsu, right? At one point?
Yeah. Plenty of street fights in my less temperate days. And all my buddies kind of are involved in one way or another in working around injuries. And it is important, as are the pew-pews. I talked about it on my channel earlier today. We had a crime cartel ring hit our area last night, and our neighborhood lady's Suburban was stolen from down the street. They had like a transponder key fob thing. They were able to get into Ford trucks and Dodge trucks. My buddy had his wallet stolen out of his truck. Not sure why he had his wallet in his truck. Must have been at the ladies' dancing club. But yeah, it was, you always have to be prepared, be vigilant. And now we have this monetary reset. The underlying economy is weak, and people turn desperate when the economy turns down, and they turn to desperate measures. And that's not excusing it whatsoever. But you have to know not everybody out there is good and looking out for your best intentions.
Cool. So if you're just seeing the second half of this, come over to my channel, Texas Silver. You'll see the first half. And then I guess if you're seeing this, then you're seeing it on Adam's channel, Full Bore Silver. So I guess we'll see how this goes. This is an experiment. Yeah. I don't know how well this is going to work. But Texas Silver out.
Full Bore Silver out.